Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today we'll be continuing our mod highlight series on the upcoming patch for SFO Grimhammer The Sundering. We've covered the High Elves, which have received a lot of love lately, but now we're going to look towards the Dark Elves, which very much need some extra stuff. And if we can be perfectly honest, the ones that need the help the most are Malekith and Morathi, which we will have some dedicated videos on them shortly after this video. But with all that being said, let's just jump right in. We'll start right off with quality of life changes all around, the first being that the slave system has been reworked. For example, settlement slave maximum cap is much lower now, but they will provide much higher income as a base. It will now be much easier to cap your settlements in terms of slave capacity, but they will run out slightly faster. Though the Dark Elf buildings no longer cause decline, but base decline was increased by 50%. It might take a small while to get used to, but there is a benefit to this. Some Dark Elf buildings now have the minor benefit of having a small amount of base income. This is nothing too drastic, it's only around 10 per building, though a small change like this does help out as soon as you start producing more and more buildings. You will notice the change as time goes on. Dark Elf Black Arcs have now received their own dedicated skill line. These will focus heavily around buffing up your troops and some minor debuffs towards your enemies. They are quite useful and some of them provide some faction-wide effects, for example increased research rate, so it will give you more of a reason to actually recruit them. The Dark Elf technology tree has been updated with a few new technologies. The main one, however, focuses around being able to sacrifice slaves in order to trigger murderous prowess much faster in battle. This makes sure that the Dark Elves can make use of their special in-battle mechanic much quicker and not have to worry about losing too many bodies in order to trigger it. Malekith will have access to a special unique resource known as Witch King's Authority, which is gained by having a number of major settlements under your control, and it can be used on technologies and through a unique forge mechanic. Malekith himself has seen a massive increase to his possible technologies. The popular mod Dark Phoenix Druchii Immersion mod from BNew 10 has been integrated into SFO Grimhammer. There are 4 specific sections here. Uniting the Druchii of course focuses around uniting the Druchii. Claim Ulthuan will focus around the eventual claiming of Ulthuan, Malekith's actual homeland. Road to World Empire will pin you against all the various races in the Warhammer fantasy world, including starting a second War of the Beard. And Places of Power will give you more incentive to conquer around the known world. Malekith can also use this special resource in this unique forge, Glory to Malekith. There are 4 sections towards this forge. Heir of Anarian and Witch King can provide reusable 10-turn buffs, which could be used on your forces to provide some benefits. Whereas Harmony and Destruction will act as their own campaign faction effects, though these will take a while to unlock, and you can only pick one, either Harmony or Destruction. Malekith's own unique skill line has been updated for this patch. The changes themselves are nothing too drastic, but they're a lot more rewarding considering that they are a unique skill line. He will also have a completely unique unit to him known as the Shadowfire Guard. This unit was created by Zudad, and as you can see, it's a mixed unit between Black Guard and Phoenix Guard units. Very powerful in close combat, using the melee capabilities of both unique units. Lokia Fellheart will have access to a new unique resource known as Kraken Spoils. You can gain this by raiding territories or raising settlements. This resource can be used on technologies or Lokia's very own Black Ark landmarks. The new technologies will have a wide variety of benefits. Some can be used as basic administration for your settlements or even movement of your armies, but the grand majority of them are focused around buffing up your troops in one way, shape or form. This is to give you more incentive to be more aggressive, which fits Lokia's playstyle rather well. Lokia's own personal Black Ark, which you can acquire after recruiting some troops, has a set of new landmarks, 6 to be specific but bundled into groups of 2. These groups are known as Provisions, Bravado and Comfort. How this system now works is that you can build one landmark from each of the 3 different sections. They'll all provide quite nice bonuses, the majority of those being faction-wide, so take your time deciding which one you actually want, not only because of your unique resource, but also because they cost a decent amount of horde growth. Some new units and a mount option have been added uniquely towards Lokir Felheart. These are the Sea Dragon, which you can have as a single entity and also a mount for Lokir himself, and the Helldrake pack. These units are smaller versions of the Sea Dragon themselves. Both are quite powerful and will fit with the whole nautical theme for your armies. Aesthetically, they look brilliant. They were created by Chaos Robbie, so the quality is not to be denied. The Crone Queen Hellebron has seen some changes to her Death Knight effects, with some more positive effects on the lower levels. That way you don't have to feel like you're suffering throughout the whole campaign if you're not using the Death Knights too much. However, new incentive has been added in the form of a new resource known as Sacrificial Blood. This can be gained by performing Death Knights and can be used on Blood Blessings, which is focused around upgrading certain units or new technologies. The technologies themselves will focus mostly around your units, with a few examples being reducing their upkeep, increasing their charge bonus, or increasing their magic resistance for certain units. Hellebron will also have access to a unique unit known as the Hellebroni Executioners, a spear variant of the Hageneth Executioners, so if you want some heavy spearmen, you've got it with these units. Morathi herself will receive a bunch of new skills, focusing around buffing up of armies, either her own specifically or even some which will focus around armies travelling alongside yours. This is to focus around moving your armies as a true legion. If you want to launch an invasion, for example on Ulthuan, go with a few armies at the same time and do as much damage as possible. She will also have access to a unique resource specific to her faction, Profane Hedonists, which can be gained through Chaos Corruption and raising enemy cities, and can be used on events, character skills, and even technologies. The new technologies will have a wide variety of effects, very balanced in terms of uses for your whole campaign, boosting up new units, giving you chances at more spells, and making you far more aggressive on the battlefield. There's a hint of Chaos Corruption here too, which harkens back to the Soneshi route that Morathi used to follow on the tabletop way back in the day. The Supreme Sorceress for Morathi's faction will also receive their own unique skill tree. This will not only make them more powerful, but also provide some benefits to your cities and other characters. Since Morathi herself is the first of the Hag Queens, it only makes sense that all of the Supreme Sorceresses under her tutelage learn directly from her. Morathi will also have access to two unique units, the Pleasure Cultists, which will act as a form of frontline infantry, which you can upgrade and make far more powerful, and also the Demonettes of Sinesh, a very popular mod from Balent and Chaos Robbie, which has now been integrated into SFO Grimhammer. Morathi's unique resource can also be spent on a unique dilemma system, very similar to that of the High Elf Influence system. The dilemmas themselves will vary, but will require Profane Hedonists. The dilemmas themselves are quite random in terms of pop-up, so don't expect them popping up every so often. Malice Darkblade, as you could guess, also has access to a unique resource. Willpower can be acquired through battles, and is used through technologies. The technologies themselves will focus firstly around increasing unit caps for a few different units, after which the subcategories will be used to buff them up. You'll be getting a lot of different options here, and the units themselves will be quite powerful at the end of it. Malice Darkblade can also acquire his unique buffs that he could get in the Eye of the Vortex campaign in the Mortal Empires campaign. All you have to do is simply level up to rank 40, which in all honesty does not take too long. The buffs themselves are pretty good and will be quite useful, especially if you like a Cold One build. And finally, Beastlord Rakaf, who has his own unique resource, Prize Creatures, which is gained from technologies and then used in technologies. The technologies themselves, as you can imagine, are centered around boosting up your monsters. Now, it's not just the technologies that you'll actually need, it's centered around you moving around and capturing different locations. As you take specific locations, these technologies will then open up, which will provide you with monster trophies. After which you can then use the monster trophies on the other tree. That in turn will focus around more different styles of buffs, diplomatic relations with other Dark Elves and Norskins, increased campaign movement range, and so on. A bit of a different change after being so heavily focused on monsters. But with that, we've had a brief introduction of the changes for the Dark Elves in the upcoming SFO Grimhammer patch The Sundering. Soon enough, we will have some dedicated videos both for Malekith and Morathi, as they deserve a bit more of a detailed look. What do you think about the changes so far? I would advise commenting down below, as the SFO team do check out the comments in order to gauge viewer feedback. SFO Grimhammer will release at the end of this week, and if you want some more information before the video's launch or the launch of the patch itself, you can find a direct link to the SFO official Discord in the description below. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games, where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our fame level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our king level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.